Welcome, people. This is the Biblicist. So, hello again. So, let's continue with the series I started last week concerning contradictions in the Quran. And once again, we will take some help from our favorite medical doctor, Dr. Zakir Naik. So, he's come up with something called as a Quran falsification challenge. So, let's dive into it, shall we?
Now you'll ask me, Brother Zakir, I don't know Arabic. I'm not a Jew. How can I try and prove the Quran wrong? There are many falsification tests. I'll give you one more, where anyone can take part. I started my talk by quoting a verse of the Quran from Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 82, which says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Do they not consider the Quran with care? Had it been from anyone besides Allah, anyone besides Almighty God, there would have been many contradictions. So if you want to prove the Quran wrong, only thing you have to do is take out a single contradiction in the Quran. If anyone takes out a single contradiction in the Quran will be proved wrong. Not that people did not try. Many people tried. You go on the internet, you will find 1,000 contradictions. But all of them, either out of context, or mistranslation, or illogical. So this is called as a falsification test. So Quran shows us a way how to prove itself wrong. If you think it's not from God, you want to prove it wrong, try it. Take out a single contradiction, the Quran will be proved wrong. This is called as the falsification test. Anyone who believes in God will immediately agree, if he is unbiased with what I've said in the last 1 hour, he'll have to agree that the Quran is from God.
So now, did you all catch what he said? That if there is only one and just one contradiction you find in the Quran, and that's it, you can just say that it's not from God. And what was he saying? That there are thousands of contradictions found in the internet, but it's mostly because of things which are taken out of context or mostly due to mistranslations. But so what do we have to say? Challenge accepted. So what will we do? We are going to take one such scenario and just have a look at different translations, compare it with the Arabic, and also look at the context. All right. So let's go for it, shall we? So as fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, since we are not going to bother so much about context, let's pick some verses where we actually know what the context is, and that's got to do with the Annunciation accounts of Maryam, that is the Islamic version of Mary, an Islamic counterfeit. But anyway, for the sake of argument, let's just say it's Mary, and let's have a look. Now, there are certain verses in the Quran here which say, now, of course, we say that Gabriel appeared to Mary, right, Christians? But when you're talking about Islam, they can't decide who appeared to Mary. Like, for instance, in these verses, they say angels appeared to Mary in the plural to announce the birth of Jesus, the Messiah. But in these verses, that is Surah 19, chapter 19, verses 17 to 18, it says a singular angel appeared. And now this is a mistranslation about an angel, because the Arabic says that it's actually a spirit that became a well-formed man. Some translations say that it's a well-formed man of great proportions. Now, why did an angel or a spirit have to become a well-formed man out of great proportions? For what reason? Come on, man, this isn't porn. Please. Anyway, I will just dive into the translations right now and show you and expose the fraud once and for all. All right. Now pay close attention, people. Close attention. Once again, I came to our favorite Quran browser. I picked out 5 translations. Of course, you won't be seeing the Sahih International, which is the most modern version, and it's pretty much mistranslated, but we'll also be having a look at that, so don't worry about it. All right, so I picked up chapter number 3, verse 42. And when the angel said, picked all, O Mary, lo, plural, Allah had chosen thee and made thee pure and had perfected thee above all the women of creation, which is kind of a good thing because over here it's kind of more like our doctrine that she was blessed among women, wasn't she? And blessed is the fruit of her womb, Jesus. Again over here, behold, the angels said, O Mary, blah blah blah, the same thing. And remember when the angel said, so notice all these translations, they clearly say that it's angels in the plural. All right, you get this so far? Okay. And here we go to 345, which is 3 verses later. And just to give you the context, this has got to do with the Annunciation account. So remember over here, and when the angel said, O Mary, Allah giveth thee glad tidings of a word, same translations again, of a word from him, whose name is the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, illustrious in the world and the hereafter, and one of those brought near unto Allah. Yusuf Ali, pretty much the same thing. So it's pretty much clear that the context which we are talking about is angels in the plural announcing to Mary that she will be the mother of Christ. All right? Okay. Now let's have a look at what the Arabic has to say. All right? Concerning this word. So I come here and unfortunately I'll just look at Sahih International, and come to that verse, which was 342. I'll just look at 342. All right. Just to give you that coverage. 3. Just a second. Bear with me, guys. Here I am. All right. Okay. In the English, it says, and mentioned when the angels, again plural, said, O Mary, indeed Allah has chosen you and purified you and chosen you above the women of the worlds. Of the worlds, instead of the world singular. And again in 345. Sorry, this is 344. This is chapter 345. Again, when the angel said, O Mary, indeed Allah gives you good tidings of a word from him, whose name will be the Messiah, Jesus, the son of Mary, distinguished in this world and the hereafter, and among those brought near to Allah. So you can clearly see that the context has been established. This is the Annunciation account in the Quran. All right. And angels in the plural appeared to Mary. Now this word, this means angels. All right. This is al-malakiyat. Now the word malak, or it's in Hebrew, it means angel or messenger. In Arabic, the Arabic cognate, it's malak, similar, like king is malik. In Arabic, it's malik, but in Hebrew, it's malek. So if you put these things, the vowel sounds, like you see these things over here, these are the vowel sounds to give it the pronunciation. If you don't believe me, I copied and pasted this entire verse over here, and the third word here, right here, sorry, al-malakiyat, okay, al-malaikat, all right, this means angels, all right, just this word in singular, here we go, Arabic, here, it's angels, plural, not singular. Get this so far? All right. I'm not going to look at 345 because it's the same thing. So now let's jump over to Quran, chapter number 19, verses 17 to 21. Same translations again as before. And check what's happening over here. Now, Zakir Naik was talking about mistranslations. Now, again, if you're looking at the context, it's again the same context. It's the Annunciation context. That's why I pasted four or five verses right in here. And had chosen seclusion from them, then we sent unto her our spirit, and it assumed for her the likeness of a perfect man. Our spirit, not an angel. Now listen, the word which is actually being used in the Arabic, it's ruh. I'll come to that. Ruh means spirit in Arabic. Just as in Hebrew, you have a word called as ruach, which means spirit. Okay? So they are two different things. And what other translators like Yusuf Ali, they say angel in the singular. We sent her our angel, and he appeared before her as a man in all respects. Why did they change it? But still, it's angel in the singular. And now again, now we Christians say that Gabriel appeared to Mary, right? But in the Quran, not even in the Arabic Quran, it's mentioned that it was Gabriel. So whenever you see certain translations where you see things in parentheses like this, are Ruh. Now Ruh means spirit. Please quit deceiving us. I'll just expose you. Angel Gabriel, Jibriel, or Jibrail. That's what they say in Arabic. And he appeared before her in the form of a man in all respects. Now this is angel in the singular. And just to give you the context, I'll just jump over here. So Mary is saying, Lo, I seek refuge in the beneficent one, that is Allah, one from thee if thou art God-fearing. One from thee. Okay. Now, if you're looking at, say, the King James Bible or the Dewey James Bible or any kind of Victorian era work or Shakespearean era work, whenever I use the word thee, thy, and thou, I'm referring to you in the singular. I'm referring to the second person in the singular. But whenever I'm saying you, yours, or ye, or ye, I'm referring to you in the plural. All right. Now, over here, Mary is talking to this angel or spirit in the singular, thou. All right. Whereas over here, it's a more modern translation, it's you. Okay. And just a side note for you Christians, in a way, you can also understand context better, like in a lot of passages when God or an angel of God or people are being addressed or a person is being addressed in the singular or in the plural. Okay. So you can clearly distinguish whether a person or God is talking to a single person or he's addressing a crowd, just to be aware of that, just as a side note. So let's dig into the translations. Again, I come back to Sahih International, and the word over here is Ru. This is the R character with the vowel on it. It's called as a pesh in Urdu. I don't know what's it called in Arabic, but it kind of gives it the oo sound. And this is like a wa or a v or a w kind of sound, but sometimes it's pronounced as an a or an o or a u. So it becomes ru. Don't believe me? Let's go to Google Translate. And here they have mistranslated it. They, of course, said in Sahih International, or I'll say Daif International, that it's an angel. That's wrong. The word for angel is malak. All right. Or malak. But it isn't ru. Like right over here. Ruhana, which is, so we sent to her our spirit so that all men were equal to her. That's not really the case. All men were equal to her. Even they have mistranslated it, but they translated this part correctly. This thing over here, Ruhana, our spirit. This part, sorry, this word, Ruhana, our spirit. Okay, so coming back here, just a minute, give me a second. All right, so just about coming back over here, just to recap. So tell me, Zakir Naik and all of you Muslims, I've taken the translations into account, I've taken the Arabic into account, and I've taken the context into account. All right. Those were the criteria you established for your challenge, and I have shown you that this is a clear-cut contradiction. Was it angels in the plural or was it angels in the singular? And again, if you're saying if it's angels in the singular, was it a spirit from Allah or was it an angel? Because the Arabic clearly says it's a spirit. It's not saying that it's an angel or a messenger, the word malak. All right. And another point which was over there in one of your English translations was you're saying it's Gabriel. Did Allah forget that it was Gabriel who was sent to Mary 600 years ago? You just wanted to put that in that verse in one of your translations. I think it was Yusuf Ali or Palmer. It doesn't matter. But as I mentioned in the previous video, you shouldn't really be trusting English translations, especially whatever you see inside parentheses. Those are just assertions that they have made. So once again, just a second. Let's have a look at what Zakir Naik says.
Only thing you have to do is take out a single contradiction in the Quran. If anyone takes out a single contradiction in the Quran will be proved wrong.
So I did show you everything, Mr. Nayak. So what do I get from here? So to summarize, I've at least found one contradiction, but there are so many others within the Quran, which I will touch one by one at my own spare time. Therefore, Mr. Nayak, the Quran has been falsified. And you could say that the Quran is not from God. Therefore, Allah is, or you could say Allah isn't God, and you are a fraud. All right? That's all I can say for now.
You're a crook. You are a crook. You are a crook. And you are a fraudster. And we will call each and every single one of you out. Wallahi, we will call you out and we will catch you.
And here are some spoilers. I've just covered a small part of the Annunciation account, but if I'll consider the Annunciation accounts in chapter 3 of the Quran and chapter 19 of the Quran, and by considering more verses, you'll find even more contradictions in that, considering various circumstances of giving the birth. All right. So you'll find that even more funny when I'll cover it some other time, God willing. All right. So stay tuned, folks. There are much more to come, and I'll also be doing videos and other things concerning defending the Trinity, refuting Aryan cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, SDAs, some point of time, God willing, even Mormonism, modalism, and all these other Unitarian heresies. So it's going to be quite a diverse, you could say, range of, or rather you could say a plethora of topics I'll be covering. But again, I'm just constrained to making one video a week. So please pray for me that I can at least do that, since I just do this on a part-time basis. And God bless all of you. Please feel free to share, subscribe, put on the notification bells, and you could also leave some other video suggestions in the comment sections. God bless you all. Thank you.
That the standard narrative,
Boy,
that the standard narrative
you're finished.
has holes, that the standard narrative,
Boy,
that the standard narrative
you're finished.
has holes, This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on? Here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward. That the standard narrative,
Boy,
that the standard narrative
you're finished.
has holes, that the standard narrative,
Boy,
that the standard narrative
you're finished.
has holes, and I don't think it is wise to bring it up. Why didn't I say it? Because it should not be said in public. Because it should not be said in public. I don't want to get into that issue. I don't want to get into that issue. I don't even want to be explicit. It should only be discussed amongst those who are familiar with this science. It should never be brought up in public. This is not something you discuss amongst the masses, ya akhi. It's not wise. It's not wise that the standard narrative, that the standard narrative
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes, that the standard narrative, that the standard narrative, that the standard narrative
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes.
You'll finish.